What's up everybody, it's the Sports Code aka Aiden and welcome back to another video. Before we get started, I'm 1 subscriber away now from 10 subscribers. So if anybody watching this, smash the subscribe button, hit the like button as well. This is going to be another Bulls update video on news that's been happening around the Chicago Bulls, and also other players will be mentioned as well, of course. And yeah, so let's get started. We'll first start off with Zach Lavine and Zach Lavine's response to not being an All-Star. I believe his quotes were, I know who I am as a player, and I do not believe that 12 players had a better season than me. Very strong words coming out from Zach Lavine. And of course, being a Zach Lavine fan, being a Chicago Bulls fan, I will agree with that. I don't believe that there has been many players that have had a better season than him. And I think that it's just been the weird way that they've been voting for the All-Star game. But what's done is done. I'm sure Zach Lavine will use this as motivation to be an All-Star next year and also to end the season strongly. That's the only thing he can do at this moment. He's also been rumors that he will not participate in the dunk contests because he's not an All-Star, which will also mean that there will be no Chicago Bulls representatives in the All-Star game whatsoever, All-Star weekend. And I don't like that. I really don't. I really hope Zach Lavine changes his mind about that. He hasn't denied it officially, but there's rumors been speculated that he is not going to participate in the dunk contest. Really sad stuff. I hope he changes his mind. The dunk contest in Chicago, he would get a standing ovation. He would easily, I think, would easily win it. And that's all I really have to say on that matter. It's sad to see that there's no Chicago Bulls representatives in Chicago, and maybe that just shows how bad the team is, and the owners need to switch things up a bit, and let's get some players here. Now, when I say there's no Chicago Bulls representatives, that's not for the lack of trying, because there is one player that did get selected into the I guess Rising Stars game, the United States versus World, and Wendell Carter got selected. Now, Wendell Carter has been very good this season. He's been very efficient, but unfortunately, due to an injury, he will not participate in this game. So yes, we will have no Chicago Bulls representatives right now, from what I'm understanding. And who to take Wendell Carter's place? None other than Zion Williamson will be replacing Wendell Carter. This is Zion's big break, I guess. He gets to be in the All-Star weekend in his first season, and he's going to light up the show. But it's not for a lack of disappointment when I say I really wanted Wendell to play, and I hope maybe some miracle and he's healed up and he can play, but it doesn't look like it. So Zion's probably going to be that replacement. I think majority of the NBA fans will be happy with that, to see Zion at the All-Star game, All-Star weekend, not game. But as a Bulls fan, I can't be happy with that. I really can't be happy with that. Wendell Carter's been so good for us. He had the most double-doubles, very efficient stats-wise. He gets the similar stats every night. One of the better centers in the East. He's been fantastic for us, and he's helped us win a lot of games. And I think a lot of Bulls fans will agree with me when I say this. We really miss him, and we really miss Daniel Gafford as well. But we're just talking about Wendell Carter. We really miss him. So he will not be appearing in that game, and it's unfortunate. It's sad. No Bulls representation. It looks like it's going to be at the All-Star game, in the All-Star weekend. Let's just see. I know this is not really a Bulls matter, but Derrick Rose is going to be featuring in the skills competition, and that's something to look forward to. Derrick Rose, obviously a former Bull. Everybody loves Derrick Rose. Chicago is going to give him a very loud, very loud ovation. They're going to show him some love, and I hope he really feels the emotion that we're going to give him. Whether it's around the world or in Chicago, the whole world is going to give him a standing ovation, I reckon, when he participates. And yeah, it's going to be great to see. I'm looking forward to that one a lot. I can't wait to see that. It's going to be amazing, fantastic. Everything under the sun, that's what it's going to be. I'm very excited. And now let's talk about the other players. There's been other players that have voiced their frustrations with how the All-Star game has been selected, and how the All-Star game is being voted, I guess you could say. So let's start off with Bradley Beal. So obviously I mentioned Zach Lavine because he's a Chicago Bulls player, and this is Chicago Bulls news. But I just want to voice other players' frustrations. So Bradley Beal obviously said it is extremely disrespectful to not put him in an All-Star game. It's downright wrong. And I made a video based on who got snubbed, so I don't want to go into why I think Bradley Beal should be an All-Star, but I agree with him, and that's what matters here. There's also been Devin Booker. Devin Booker said, simply pick the best players to play in the All-Star game. Now, with this one, it depends on what you classify as the best players, because Devin Booker is obviously a very, very good player. One of the best players in the NBA. I honestly believe that. But it depends on what you can classify as a good player. There's a good player just means stats, because if you're just putting stats, then yeah, he should definitely be in the All-Star game. But if you're going based on wins as well, plus the stats, then there might be players that are better than Devin Booker out there. Maybe not the eye test will say, maybe not the way that they play, but they win games. Like, for instance, DeMar DeRozan, right? DeMar DeRozan didn't make the All-Star game. I had a conversation with this guy in the last video in the comment section, if you guys want to look at that. He brought out DeMar DeRozan should have been an All-Star. And I tend to agree with that. I think DeMar DeRozan should have been an All-Star because he's putting up very good stats and he's winning more games. And it's the lineup restriction is what kind of took that away from him. And that's something that I think needs to be changed, obviously, because the NBA is going into a time where the position restrictions are getting less and less. You're seeing power forwards that are really undersized and they're destroying the game. Jason Tatum's a prime example of that. I think maybe the center should be the only restrictive really position, because all the other positions, most players now can play 1 through 4, and maybe not at an elite level, but it can be done. So I think, yeah, I think that should eventually be changed. Obviously, this season, nothing's going to happen. It's too late for that. But in the coming seasons, should be a serious topic point of discussion about the limit, the lineup restrictions, how there can't be a certain amount of shooting guards, a certain amount of forwards, and all of that. I don't buy that. I really don't. Anyway, yeah. So it just depends. I think DeMar DeRozan should be in an All-Star game before Devin Booker, but I know some Suns fans, and I know they really believe Devin Booker is a fantastic player and probably top 3 shooting guard in the West. And if they believe that, they obviously know more than I would. I'm not a Suns fan, but yeah, I mentioned Devin Booker as well. I think Devin Booker is potentially another player that you could consider snubbed from the All-Star game, and there is many. So yeah, that's all I really wanted to talk about. That's the Bulls news. I believe we're currently 9th in the East, and we are 3 games behind the 8th seed. But the 8th seed have a couple of games in hand over us. So when it comes to the actual season, playoffs are still looking pretty far away, but it's definitely not out of the question now. It really is not out of the question. We did manage to get closer since the last video I made on the standings, but it's still very, very long time away. We've got a lot of injuries, so we need to really fight through this hardship and let's grit and grind and get some wins. We've had some good wins the last couple of days, but we've also had some pretty bad losses as well. I think that's just been the Bulls seasons. We've had from 1 good win to a couple of bad losses. Then maybe we go on a 2-win streak here, then a 5-lose streak there. And yeah, that's been our season so far. And the injuries doesn't help it, but I also think that this is the next man up. This is why the bench is so important. This is why the bench needs to get more recognition than it does, because our next man up no one's really delivered. We only have 2 starters at the moment, and then we're all calling on our bench players to step up, and they haven't. I think Thaddeus Young is playing decent. Don't get me wrong, but Luc Cornet is also playing all right. But they're not the level of our starters, and it's so tough to ask for a bench player to perform at a starter's position, at the starter's level. Maybe because Wendell Carter is better than Luc Cornet by leaps and miles, but we're asking Luc Cornet to perform in a Wendell Carter type game, and it's difficult to ask a player like that. So it all depends, man. Like, that's why injuries are very important to teams. When a player goes down and the next one has to step up, it's important that we have a good bench that can fulfill that position if need be, if injuries occur. And injuries do occur at the Bulls nearly every season. So we definitely need to strengthen the bench. I think that's the goal for next season. Free agency. Let's get some bench players on a 1-year contract or 2-year contract. And then we can hopefully sign a max player in 2 years, like the likes of Anthony Davis or Giannis or anything. That's not going to happen, but just maybe a max star quality player would be nice. Anyway, that's it for today's video. It's been a while since I've actually made a Bulls update video, because the last 2 videos I made, I believe, have been All-Star videos, and also the Larry Marketing trade rumors. The trade deadline's coming very, very close, but there hasn't been much Bulls rumors about trades. What are we going to do? Are we going to trade anybody? Are we going to keep it the same? Who are we going to trade? Are these trades going to be good for us? There's a lot to discuss over the coming days. February 6th, I believe, is when the transfer deadline day is over. So we got a lot to talk about, and hopefully there's some news that's going to come in. Hopefully good news as well. Definitely don't want to see Zach Lavine traded. Definitely don't want to see Larry Marketing traded. I definitely want Jim Boylan to go. Hopefully that's the news that we're going to receive. But if not, I will keep you guys updated whenever I get the news. Anyway, this is the Sports Code. Take care and peace.